What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 60 Formula. I got a jacket. Look at that. Now I'm safe. I'm guarded. I'm padded. So when I ride out on the street and you and I meet, now I can fight you and I don't need heat. 'Cause I'm padded and I'm protected in my vest if I'm ejected. Sorry. Anyways, listen, today we're going to be talking about some crazy stuff. Welcome to the channel. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have been enjoying the motorcycle series, today we're going to be talking about the difference between the Kawasaki Ninja 650 and the Kawasaki Ninja 300. I have both motorcycles and I'm going to be showing you the best parts of each motorcycle, the worst parts of each motorcycle. In case you're looking to buy one, maybe you want to go out and get a 650 or a 300, I'm going to let you guys know the best parts of each and the worst parts of each. So if you're looking for something specific, you may find it here. So come along, come with me, let's go check out these motorcycles and find out more. Love you. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode. Hey everybody, we're in my garage right now. We're taking a look at the Kawasaki Ninja 650, which you see right in front of you, this blue beauty right here. And then right next to it, we have the Kawasaki Ninja 300, the smaller version of this bike, except now there is a Kawasaki Ninja 400, which is supposedly the most amazingly sexy sweet spot on a motorcycle that anyone's ever heard of. I've never driven on a Kawasaki Ninja 400, but I do hear that they are delicious. And if you don't know what that means, it means it's tasty, baby. So, right here, what you're looking at, 650. This is a little bit more powerful bike than the 300. Obviously, you can tell it's a little bit bigger. When you walk up to it, you're gonna be, it's gonna feel like you're actually riding on top of something instead of being a part of something. The 300 is more of, you kind of melt into it. You know what I'm saying? When you sit on it, your body kind of melds into the bike. But the 650, you're kind of riding on top of. It's kind of like your standard sports bike. It feels really good. And let me tell you something. This is the 2018 edition of the Kawasaki Ninja 650, and it is the sexiest motorcycle I can conceive of in my brain. The purpose of making this entire video today isn't to show off my motorcycles. It's to tell you guys the difference between the 650 and the 300. Maybe you're trying to decide, maybe what motorcycle do I want to get? Do I want to get the 650? Do I want to go for the 300? Now let me let you guys know, I bought the 300 first, then I moved over to the 650. They're both great bikes. It doesn't matter what you pick as your first motorcycle, or maybe this is your second motorcycle, maybe it's your 19th motorcycle. It doesn't matter which one you choose, they're both amazing motorcycles. It's just all about preference here. So I'm going to outline some of the nitpicky things that people don't really talk about. Everyone's always like, should you choose the 650 or the 300? Well, the 650 has more power, man. Don't you know? It's like a bigger engine. No, we're not talking about that today. Obviously, you guys know that the 650 is banking over the Ninja when it comes to horsepower, but there are little itty bitty, teeny, weeny, weensy things, just as a consumer, that you want to be aware of when you're buying either one of these bikes. Let's start with the Ninja 650, okay? This bike is great. It's wonderful. It's fast. Off the line, it is faster than the 300. First things first, there's more storage in here. So this right here has more storage than the 300 does. And let's go ahead and open it up and I'll show you guys. We're looking inside of the storage compartment for the 650 and you can see it's not a lot. I mean, this is a motorcycle. You're not getting a trunk space here. You're not getting like a Ford F-150, but there's considerable amount of space. You could throw like a tiny little bag in here, your keys, your ID, your wallet, or whatever you need to store. That's considerably larger. Look at the sweat. Yeah, this is considerably larger storage than the 300, and we're going to show you that right now. So let's take this key. So, okay, here is your Kawasaki 300 storage. Now you can tell, all you can basically hold in here is like a wallet and your cell phone maybe. I will show you something really cool. A lot of people don't really know about this. I didn't know about it when I bought this, just because it's a used bike and I wasn't given like a manual with it or anything. If you lift this up right here, there's more storage down there. And this is kind of where I keep all my documents. Also, there is a toolkit. It should come with every Kawasaki motorcycle underneath here. You just pull up this tab right here. There should be a toolkit. But other than that, that's just basically your basic storage, which is not as much as the 650. That right there may be important to you. So if you want more storage, you're gonna go with the 650. If you don't need as much storage, maybe you wanna go with the 300. So one thing about the 650 that I don't like is this. Do you guys see where the ignition key is on this motorcycle? Okay, now let's go take a look and see where it is on the 300. Do you see how it is on the handlebars? Now, let me just show you guys something real quick. When I take my key and I put it into my ignition, right? Look, whatever I have on my key ring, it is not hitting my paint job, okay? It's gonna fly around a little bit, it's gonna hit my handlebars, whatever, not a big deal. Here's the problem with the 650, and I love this bike, it's beautiful, but this is a weird oversight. The key goes in right here, and this is like a shiny, glossy black finish right here, okay? If you have anything on this motorcycle key, I'm talking anything, even that ring I have on the motorcycle key, it is going to tear the shit, excuse my language, it is gonna tear your paint job to hell right here. And that's not cool. So if you're gonna have a 650, you kinda have to like have the key in your pocket. Having a keychain is not gonna really be an option because, I mean, look, what's going on here? What is this? I don't want this to get messed up. So you have to put, I usually just take my key ring, I put it back like that because I don't know what else to do. That's a big issue with this bike I don't like. So if you're worried about the paint job, you know, that's a little bit of a fuss. You're gonna have to just use one single key and basically never have it on a keychain unless you find a tiny little baby one that's covered in rubber. Now, one thing I don't like about the 300. Now you see this, I'll turn this on for you guys. This shows me that I'm in neutral right down here. You guys can see, I know it's hard to see, but that green light says neutral. This bike will not tell you what gear you are in. You just have to know. And I know that's an important thing to know when you're learning how to ride a motorcycle. But this bike tells you nothing about gears. It doesn't tell you when to switch gears. It doesn't tell you what gear you're in other than neutral. So you just have to know everything off the top of your head. And that's fine. That is totally fine. But if you're a beginner, that might not be so fine because you might not be super amazing at remembering what gear you're in. And I know it's all about learning, but the bike should be able to help you a little bit. Coming over to the Ninja 650 now. Let's go ahead, pop the key in right here, look at the dash. Okay, this tells us we're in neutral as well. Also, right here, tells us it's in neutral in both places. But this bike doesn't just tell you it's in neutral, it tells you every gear you're in as you're switching through the gears. And this spot right there, I know it's kind of hard to see, it's not lit up right now, but that right there in basically the middle of the screen, that will blink when you need to switch gears as you're driving. Now for a learner, for someone learning how to ride a motorcycle, that's extremely important. So if you're wanting to choose between, you know, the 300 or the 650, this is kind of a way more user-friendly bike. It's gonna tell you exactly how to use the motorcycle instead of just being like, you know, learn like a caveman. And that just depends on how you wanna learn. Do you wanna learn up in your head, knowing everything, muscle memory, all that jazz? Or do you wanna have a motorcycle tell you, help you out, and assist you in letting you know how you should be riding it effectively? It's all up to you. I'm telling you, this is all about preference here. So those are some of the things that are a big deal to me. Now we're gonna be looking at other little things like basically these 650 tires. You can see the wheels on them. They are much bigger than the 300's tires. These are smaller wheels. Now, I don't know if that matters to you or if it doesn't. Some people prefer bigger tires, some people prefer smaller tires. So that's just something to remember. One thing I really dislike about the 300 is this gigantic exhaust. Look, it's so big and all it is this tiny little hole. Haha, that's what she said, baby. I mean, you could just have this removed and get a third-party exhaust if you wanted, just a slip on, and it would look great. But let me just show you in comparison to the 650 what you're working with here. So on the 650, I think the deal here was that Kawasaki wanted to make the 300 look beefy, so they put that giant exhaust on it. But on the 650, look at this little baby exhaust. It's tiny, it's out of the way, it's dope. It's not trying to show off. This bike is modest as hell. This bike is humble. Things like this on the 300, this gigantic exhaust and some of these other things, they're just for show. Like, it doesn't need to be there. This is not that big of a bike. It doesn't need that big of an exhaust. So I would want to get that replaced in the future. This is just a physical thing. It's an aesthetic point of view, so it really has nothing to do with the functionality of the bike. Both bikes are very, very beautiful. If you want to see the front, they're both a little bit different in the front. I kind of like the way the 650 looks a little bit. It's more sharper, a little bit more pointed. And then the 300, it's a little bit more curved. Still has a mean look to it, but just a little more conservative when it comes to that fast-paced look. Now, one thing to mention is that both of these bikes have kind of the same foot peg. As you can see, kind of got like this, it's like a grippy foot peg. It's got those little grips in the metal. These are nice, okay? But if you hit your foot against a metal peg, you're gonna be in a world of pain. Now, it's not gonna make a huge amount of difference, but the foot pegs on the 650 are actually covered with rubber. And that just, it's a little bit nicer. Makes for a little bit of cushioning on your foot when you're riding. And sometimes if you accidentally hit your leg on the peg, it might save you a bruise. Another aspect about the 650 that I like way more than the 300, and I don't mean to dog on the 300, I'm not trying to make it sound like I don't like it, because it is an awesome bike, but the 650 has these right here. And then I'll show you. Let me close up. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there are dials on each of the 650's brake and clutch mechanisms. These say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side. So basically, this motorcycle allows you to set the amount that you want to pull the clutch and the brake in. Let's say you want the brake to react immediately, so you don't want to have to pull it in so far. You can change that with that little dial. Same thing with the clutch. It's right over here. Little dial right there. If you want the clutch to be activated immediately, then you can change it. That's another thing I really, really appreciate about the 650 is that it's kind of made for the beginner motorcyclist in a way that it lets you decide how you think riding a motorcycle should feel in your own eyes. What is comfortable for you? This bike allows you to kind of go there. The 300, it's little, it's fun, it's not as heavy, at least it doesn't feel like it is to me, and it zooms. And there's a few little things that I love about it, like I mentioned, the key area. That's not, you're not gonna be banging on paint or anything like that. But if I had to really stress to someone who was beginning to ride motorcycles, I would say definitely, not definitely, but I would stress getting the 650. The 650 is just, if you have the extra money, go ahead and go for it. It comes with all the bells and whistles to tell you how to be a more effective motorcyclist. Really, it's a great vehicle. Now, if you don't have that much money and you're looking for like a budget option, the 300 is great, even the 250. Okay, it's a wonderful motorcycle. You just have to do a little bit more hard work on your end, because it's not going to tell you what gear you're in. It's not going to tell you when to switch gears. It doesn't have ABS, which is another thing that I have to get to. Maybe your 300 does have ABS, and there are plenty of 300s that come with ABS. However, my 300 does not come with ABS. If you don't know what that is, it's an anti-braking system. So basically, it helps you brake in an emergency without skidding. That's what this stands for right down here when you see the ABS. So this is just, it all depends which bike it meets your specifications. For me, honestly, right now, it's the 300 for me, just because I'm learning. Like, I know I said that this is the better one to learn on because it tells you everything, but I already started learning without all those things. So if you're brand new and you don't even have a bike yet, it's good to start here. But if you've already started on the 300, make this your second bike, or don't get something bigger. Maybe you perfect the 300. But anyways, that's all, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching my video. I want to thank you guys for checking out the motorcycles. If you liked, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time with whatever I make. Peace.